Alright, so it's been about a year since I made the Moonboard. I did just spend a little bit of time cleaning up all the scuff marks, just using a little magic eraser thing. It looks pretty good now. Didn't get to the kickboard, but it's looking nice after a year. So yeah, I just thought I'd make a video summarizing my thoughts about having a Moonboard after a year and some things that happened during that time. So just as a recap, I built this at the start of the lockdown for COVID-19. So like I ordered the holds in March or something like that, and then got them in maybe May or so, and finished building this board in June. And so like I see my first session on the Moonboard app was like June 7th or 8th or something like that. And so it's been a whole year now of pretty much just climbing here exclusively. I do have my little traverse wall over here, and then 6 months ago I actually built a 15-degree spray wall. So this is sort of a new addition that has become my kind of warm-up wall, and also a kids climbing and just whatever I want wall. There's a lot of holds that I've made up on here, and I bought a bunch of holds and everything. But I'll maybe make a video about that some other time. But the Moonboard, yeah, so it's been a year. I've gone from basically struggling to get up everything. Moonboarding was, I'd say, was sort of anti-style for me. I'm not much of a steep wall climber or crimp climber or anything like that. I also don't like open climbing, so I always like very trickery, closed off positions and back steps and stuff, and not as much of that on the Moonboard. So it was very anti-style, and it felt like every V3 was just like as hard as I could possibly go. But I'd say I adapted relatively quickly. So like within a couple months, I ticked off my first, V7. And then, I've been working on my videos of trying to do everything of every single grade, and I've worked my way up to V7s. I'm stuck on V7s because of one single climb, l'adaptation du bois. That one, I just cannot get past this darn little crimp guy up here. This has been my nemesis on a lot of climbs. I am not good at crimping, especially like bad crimps. And then left hand also, I've had to work through some weaknesses with my left shoulder. And it's been kind of fun doing anti-style work and getting better at that, just like big open climbing and everything. So maybe I'll put this down so I'm not shaky everywhere. Yeah, so in this year, I have gotten a little, I'd say, stagnant. Although in the last couple months, I've been really trying to just like see what my max grade is. So I put some time into working on projects, and I've ticked off quite a few 7Bs, which are V8, and then 7B pluses. I climbed one so far, and then one 7C, a V9. So I've been like exploring that upper level and seeing what are those kind of max kind of things. And so I think that's about my max, is, that V8, V9 kind of level. And since I've climbed basically everything under V8s, benchmark wise, I've gotten a little bored, so I'm thinking of switching it out for the 2016 set in a couple weeks after I get back from a vacation. And I think that'll be a nice reset to try out some things and work on just getting more volume. I think I had a lot of fun at the beginning when I was just ticking off those benchmarks and moving up the grades and getting exposed to lots of styles and stuff. And I thought that was something I'd like to do, to just also experience what I think is like the classic Moonboard experience with that 2016 setup. So that should be fun to get all those up there and try that out. But it's been great. I mean, like for a while I was like contemplating if this was worth it because I spent so much money. Like in the summer, Los Angeles was doing better with the lockdown, so it was like easing up. But then it started to all go downhill real quick, and then it was super locked down for a long time, and it got really bad. But now, you know, things have gotten way better. All of my friends who come and climb with me are vaccinated, and it's all cool, and that's why you see more videos, at least on my Instagram, of me without a mask on. I did send one of my long-term projects. I had set like a V7 or V8, I thought, probably more than 6 months ago, probably like 9 or 10 months ago. It's called Hello Hello. And I just thought it was like a cool move to use one of these holds as an undercling. I'm doing this backwards, so it's like hard for me to think about. It's covered by that one. So that one as an undercling. So I set a problem that does that, and it like a couple bump moves. And that was really satisfying to finally get that in one of my last sessions. And so it's been like a really good year of being able to continue to climb really well or hard, and not feel like I've lost strength or anything. Yeah, so if you're thinking about making a Moonboard still, I'd say it's still worth it. Like the gyms are opening back up, but I'm not really tempted to get my membership activated again, so I'm probably just going to cancel because I've got all this at home. And then just go with friends whenever they, you know, have a pass or whatever and want to go there. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what else I want to talk about. I think that's basically it. It's been fun and really interesting to see how much variety there is on one of these boards. And like I do like having both the Moonboard and the spray wall. Moonboard, getting the other people to set, you know, is like such a huge thing, versus like when you have your own spray wall, you have to be the setter, and I'm not a good setter. And so it's much more challenging to like make up climbs and to like position holds correctly, and also just like buying holds. Like I buy holds online and sometimes they're terrible or they're too good or whatever, and it's like it's a 15-degree wall. It's a bit challenging to find a balance between challenging and, you know, usable. So I have like certain ones, like these pink wafers, that are like close to unusable. And then there are like some slopers and stuff that are now just like feet over here that are totally unusable. But it's been fun doing both. If I had to choose just one, I would probably still choose the Moonboard. Definitely more variety in the app and everything, making it more interesting. I'm using the spray app, Eat, Spray, Love, something like that on this one, and logging my own stuff, and my friends are doing the same. But still, I'd say not as good as having the entire Moonboard community. And the community's been like an interesting aspect that I actually maybe do want to talk about a little bit with the Moonboard, but it is like kind of fun. Like I did start an Instagram so that I could sort of participate a bit more, and like, you know, it's kind of fun seeing these people that I know from just like their sets, and then seeing them on Instagram and like feeling like it is that kind of community and stuff. And then, I guess one big thing was like, I was like, it'd be a really great goal on the Moonboard to set and have one of my problems benchmarked, and that did happen in this year. And so I did get a benchmark approved for my 6B or V4 climb called Over Easy, which is probably like slightly sandbagged according to most people, which I find funny too. Like it is sort of an interesting community of encouraging sandbagging, and then sometimes not. It's like conflicting, it seems, but I definitely found like there's a lot of sandbags, so I set it with the idea that it's like maybe a little hard. But it's like, it's interesting trying to set problems and like, because you set your problems with like your specific morphology and strengths in mind. And so like for me, like the last move just has like a close lock off and a cross, and close lock offs are like my jam. Like it is one of the strongest things that I can do, is just do a close to body lock off. And apparently that's not a lot of people's jam. And so there's been a lot of people like bumping or piano matching. And I think that's really interesting to find. And it's also interesting to like have people rate your problem, and like, you know, most people are just calling it 2-star, and like maybe less than a third are 3 stars, and then there's like 14 or so 1-star people who really hate on it or something. And it's really weird also, like I was looking at the 2016, and a lot of their like 6B pluses, the majority of the ratings are like 3 stars. Versus like on the 2019, the majority of anything under V6 tends to be 2 stars, and only like V6 and above get to stay like 3 stars. Versus like on the 2017, it's different. So like it seems like there might be a bit of a different culture between the 2 years, and that's curious. Or maybe they're just way better on the 2016. I don't know. I've never climbed them, so. Yeah, curious to see how that feels, and see what the ratings feel like on the 2016. I know there's like, for the 2019, I found like the last 2 or 3 of every graded benchmark, the ratings seem like they're off by 2 grades or so. Like, so if you go to the most repeated, go to the bottom of the list, the last like 2 or 3 pretty much feel 2 grades harder than everything else. And so I think that's partly where this like sandbagging culture sort of comes from. At least for me, it was like I would take those last 2 as like the benchmark for that grade of like, this is what is like the maximum of this grade should be. So it's like, if my problem feels easier than one of those, then that's what I would grade it. But I don't know. Now I think I'm just rambling a little bit about minutia of the ratings and grades, and I don't think that's super interesting to most people unless you are already in the Moonboard community. And I will say, like, climbing my anti-style has definitely made me feel stronger in a lot of my weak points when climbing outside. So I've got a bit more just like raw power, and I'm like feeling more comfortable in open positions rather than wanting to turn and close off and stuff like that. I did also recently injure my pinky outside in a climb with like a really sharp crimp that then like turned and then stuff. So yeah, it's kind of strange climbing with it, but it's not sure what that is. That's I'll be right back. All right, not sure what that was. You know, this is in my garage, and we open up to an alleyway, and we do have a lot of interesting people that will walk through and do things in that alleyway. So it's been a little weird when I climb late at night. And I usually leave the door halfway open so that I can get some fresh air in here and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's all I really want to talk about. I would say I think I've learned a lot about movements in like different styles of movement, different ways of moving and managing, you know, dynamic moves and dead points and stuff. It's definitely been a learning experience to work anti-style, and I think I'm better for it. So, you know, if this is your jam, then this will be your jam. If you're bad at it, well, I think I was bad at it, but quickly got myself up to what I would consider like my general highest level of climbing. Like outdoors, generally that's kind of where I like to work on things, is that like V8, V9 kind of level. Like I've climbed a few harder stuff, but that's about it. All right, climbing buddies here. I'm gonna go. Bye.